Constantino. Pound for pound.
Little Giant Boxing.
Here in another with the Bob father himself, Bob Arum. Bob, talk to me about this tremendous fight. Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson, unifying titles, Ring Magazine title on the line. Talk about the fight.
I mean, it's a terrific fight. That's what we want to see. Two fighters at their peak or approaching their peak, who are undefeated, who've beaten all of the competition that they faced and have significant victories on their resume, now facing off against each other. That's what makes a sport great when that happens.
How do you break down that fight as far as stylistically? We know that Oscar Valdez is probably going to be pressuring him. Shakur Stevens is going to be on the back foot, maybe pressuring him as well.
Well, I think you know, sometimes you're going to be surprised. What happens if Shakur feels that the best way to fight Valdez is to take it to him from the get-go? That's a possibility. And therefore, that would change everybody's expectations of the fight.
Okay, real quick, switching topics. Canelo versus Bivol. What's your thoughts on the fight?
Well, I think Canelo is something really special. And Bivol's a good fighter, but I would favor Canelo in that fight. Canelo is a warrior, and he has a great coach in Eddie Reynoso, and I think has too much for Bivol. But that's not a real knock on Bivol, because Bivol is a competent guy who's had some good wins on his record.
What goes through your mind about when you hear Canelo saying that he wants to be undisputed at 175? What goes through your mind when you hear Canelo wants to be undisputed at 175 pounds and possibly fight the winner of Joe Smith versus Artur Beterbiev if he gets past Bivol?
Well, my first thought is, because even though I've never promoted a Canelo fight, Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, I consider good friends of mine. They're using my gym next week to shake out for the fight with Bivol. So, you know, one thing is doing business, the other is being friends. And I will certainly invite both of them to New York on June 18th to see Joe Smith and Artur Beterbiev.
How huge would that fight be? Canelo fighting for all the titles at 175. You promoting him, obviously that's a huge push. How big is that?
Well, it would be really, really big. But again, Canelo got to take care of business first with Bivol. We have to see how the Joe Smith-Beterbiev fight plays out. I know for a fact that both guys, Joe Smith and Beterbiev, want to fight Canelo if they win their fight, whoever wins their fight. Why wouldn't they? But again, that's a while away. I think Canelo has an obligation to fight Golovkin after the Bivol fight. So we're talking about May of next year.
Yeah, huge fight if it happens. What do you make of Kamaru Usman, who's a UFC champion, undefeated, calling out Canelo time after time, even his manager calling him out, saying Canelo's a chicken?
You know, they should stick to their own sport. You know, the truth is that the sports are really different. That if a boxer fights a UFC guy under UFC rules, he's under an extreme disadvantage. And the UFC guy who fights a top boxer is under equally big disadvantage. So again, I don't pay any attention to that crap.
Okay, last question. You promoted all the all-time greats in boxing: Manny Pacquiao, Muhammad Ali, now Tyson Fury. Where do you rank Manny Pacquiao? Where do you rank Tyson Fury amongst all those great fighters that you?
Well, Tyson Fury is, in his way, one of the great showmen that we've ever had in boxing. Never had a guy with his personality, a guy who performs in and out of the ring the way he does. Ali was a great personality, but different, a lot different, because Ali, anything Ali said was said for the purpose. You get the feeling with Tyson Fury that he'll just say things for the effect.
Like when he
rather
told
than
Francis,
for
how big is your dong?
What?
Like when he told Francis and Gano, how big is your dong?
Yeah.
Lastly, any update with Teofimo? Is his comeback fight?
I don't know. You know, Teofimo had a lot wrong with him. Bad elbow, bad wrist. We've gotten him the medical attention from Joe Kurland. I sent him right to see Dr. Elitrash, who took care of the elbow, and Dr. Shin, who took care of the wrist. They're great, great doctors. They're the best orthopedic guys in their specialties. So hopefully when Teofimo is allowed once more to hit the bag and use the arm, he'll be recovered and be ready to fight.
Constantino Garcia here for Little Giant Boxing. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow me on social media at Constantino Garcia.